This is the video of me explaining the nightmare critters. And since we have all 8 nightmare critters here, let's first start off with the first one. And now, what I think the nightmare critters are, they're basically the antagonist of the smiling critters universe. Yeah, I personally think that. Now, something about the nightmare critters artwork is that it's more detailed. You can actually see the pendants have a 3D effect around it because they're standing at a different position than the others. Whereas I guess their little necklace things were going around. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, this is another point of view. So the first one we're going to start off with is Baba Chops. Baba Chops is a black sheep, basically, literally a black sheep. She is introverted, very low energy, and very in the shadows and all that. That's basically her in a nutshell. What she basically is a stereotypical goth. Yeah, and then it's funny how they represented that with a black sheep. There's a black sheep in Animal Crossing, and she's goth too. And if you guys want to know what her name is, I'll just bring it up right here. It's Muffy from Animal Crossing. Yep, another goth sheep. So it seems like, yeah. Yeah, it's like we found Muffy a sister. That could be her lost sister. Bob Bob Chops could be her lost sister. Who knows? And yeah, and she's the only one not based off based off of a harmless animal. But black sheep, they're considered to be evil. So yeah, I guess. Next one is Simon Smokes, a red dragon. And it basically says Simon Smoke knows he's cool and popular. And he makes sure nobody ever forgets it, whether showing off for friends or just bragging about one of his accomplishments. It's always a popularity contest with this guy. Almost always he wins. In truth, he's a colossal jerk, but he does have a knack for getting away with being one. Oh, yeah, and this character basically and some people are gonna joke and saying, "Oh, he looks like Spike from My Little Pony," but he also has the personality of Charizard. And basically, his personality can be summed up as a stereotypical jock in cartoons and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically what he is, but a dragon version. And he's got the S chain, which a lot of jocks wear. They wear that money symbol, and this could also represent that dragons usually guard treasure. Yeah, they guard treasure back in the day. So I guess that's what that's based on. Next is Raby Baby, the bat, the pink and white bat. Raby Baby couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. If there was one thing in the world she loves, it's gossiping, and she's very practiced at it. She has no concept of privacy or boundaries, and if she's in the room, you could bet she's eavesdropping on someone. Don't worry, if she ever runs out of secrets to talk about, she'll just make some up. So basically, her person is she's a gossipy one. That's basically the mean popular girl trope in a lot of shows. We've seen this plenty of times before. She's not so different, but the only fact that she's a bat or some antho creature. So not much to say there. And she has pink and white wings, kind of reminiscent of Rouge the Bat from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. So that's something. Next one is Icky Wicky, a poison dart frog. Icky's the type of kid to fall behind in a relay race and immediately pin it on his sore knee. Even when that's not the case, he's the very definition of a poor sport. Even though he's naturally talented, he's constantly challenging everyone on absolutely everything. And usually without the outcome he expects. Don't worry, he has an excuse ready. And he's a poison dart frog. Basically, he's the slacker. I mean, basically, he's a little slugger in a nutshell. You know, people that always, and he always makes excuses. Excuses, which is another teenager trope. And young people, some young people make a lot of mistakes and tend to make excuses for it. So I guess that's what that's based on. Next one is Alister Gator, a gator. And he's a lazy guy. Alister's an all-around lazy guy. He's chill, sure, but if he'd spend all day in the water and doing pretty much nothing. He isn't a fan of the whole put in effort and see that rewarded bit. He's much more of a believer of the philosophy, good things have to come to me eventually. I just need to wait around for it. He's still waiting. And yeah, that's kind of a trope of younger people too, lazy. And this is kind of reminiscent of real life gators. Gators don't chase them that much. They wait to ambush them. That's basically what he's doing. Which kind of makes him a little dangerous in the long run. But Alister Gator and this crossbone right here and his pendant represents lazy bones, basically. And Oh yeah, and Icky Wicky's a little biohazard symbol as he's wearing. It represents toxic frogs, which is what he's based. But here, Alister Gator, he's a literal pun. He's a lazy bones. Jeez, TV tropes. This is Poe the Raven, a Poe the Crow. Poe hates the sun and thinks it's a cruel trick of nature that the world needs it in the first place. Most comfortable in the dark, they spend their nights hanging around graveyards, listening to music and feeling vaguely angry at nothing in particular. They insist it isn't a phase. Basically, Poe is an emo crow. Yes, and Poe is actually named after Edgar Allan Poe. And their little chain mark right here is a thundercloud representing their moody nature, those moody emos. And yeah, I can obviously see that. Yeah. And some crows are like that in the real world. They're more active at night than they are in day. And they can be a bit moody sometimes. So this is actually very accurate. Good job, Mob Entertainment. Next is Tui the Rat. Tui is it's pronounced Tui. Yes, is a self-proclaimed trash ruiner. When he's not busy eating and collecting garbage, he's a lively conversationalist. He talks a lot, which is made all the more surprising by him having shocking little to say. If you ever needed someone to provide insightful commentary or some random piece of junk, Tui is your guy. And his name comes from Ratatouille. So, yeah, and his little pendant here is basically... It's basically a fish bone, which looks like a tie in some cases, which he probably went dumpster diving. So, yeah, he's a rat that hangs around the trash. And, yeah, rats do that in real world, and he eats garbage. So, yeah, you might want to stay away from him if you're a clean freak. And it's funny that they made a rat here. And Tui's probably the funniest one. The last, but certainly not least, is Maggie Mako, a Mako shark. Maggie is always thinking about her belly. She's happiest with food in her mouth. And believes us, and believes she's not picky. She loves sweets but veggies. Yuck. Don't be surprised if she takes your healthy eating habits advice with a dabble of sugar, some chocolate syrup, whipped cream, and a big cherry on top. All while laughing at you profusely. And this is kind of a thing in pop culture that sharks will eat anything. They'll eat things that's not good for them. They'll eat trash cans. They'll eat tins. Eat litter in the ocean. Anything that gets litter, tires, all kinds of things. It's just something they thought they didn't really. Although eat garbage, even in the real world, especially tiger sharks. But Maggie Mako is named after a Mako shark, and Mako sharks are. I don't know if they eat that stuff, so don't ask me. Lights, please. And sharks will eat just about anything. That's all you need to know, and that's where trope is based on. Now, this is certainly not the last bit of the video, but this is me going to give my thoughts about all the Nightmare Critters, all in one video. Okay, the Nightmare Critters. What do I think of them? I think they're cool antagonists of the Smiling Critters cartoon, and if they're going to be threats in this game, in Chapter 4, I think they're going to be mini threats, if I'm being honest. I don't think they'll have much of an inclusions in the chapter, or if they do, that's fine. But they are not, they're just going to be plushies that stalk you or something. Or probably they'll have bigger bodies versions. Who really knows, to be honest? Because these things were not really made in the actual toys. They were just there. There just to be there. And it would make sense for me to give thoughts on each one of each one of these Nightmare Critters, because I already gave my thoughts about them. And I already gave my thoughts a tiny bit on some community posts that some people didn't see. A lot of people didn't see, but some of you saw, and I appreciate that. So I'll just give my thoughts about them, each one. Baba Chops. She was definitely a surprise when I saw her. I was like, is she a rejected smiling critter? Like one of those things fans would think of? But no, she's a part of another toy line, an antagonist. And I think she represents a god trope very well. A black sheep. And that's not something you see commonly. The only one we have up was Muffy from Animal Crossing in there. And she also gives me Grim Reaper aesthetics. Grim Reaper vibes with that skull. So yeah, and she's honestly adorable. I really wish, and I love the little afro thing you did for her. It's really funny. Next is Icky Wicky the frog. I think he's cool. I think he's very stealthy looking, and he definitely does look toxic. And I think the toxic and being a toxic dart frog represents his toxic personality, which I honestly think is pretty freaking clever if you ask me. I mean, it might not be as on the nose, but it's still cool though. Next is Simon Smokes, which I think his design is awesome. I like the hair, I like the gold stuff on him, and he looks awesome. And his personality is freaking great. Is freaking great. Next is Alister Gator. I think he's cool. I mean, he's funny, and you could put him in any situation, and it would be humorous. Not as funny as Tui, but there we go. Next is Raby Baby. Adorable. Adorable and kind of and awesome. And I think that her personality being a popular girl is something that is kind of a fresh air. It's kind of funny, actually, that a bat is doing that. And bats are known for being very annoying in gaming, so yeah. Next is Poe the Raven. I think they are actually awesome. They actually made me my favorite nightmare critter. Next to Tui. I think they're the ones with no last name are my favorite. It's just their personalities or something. Next, and okay, so Tui, and I think Poe the Raven. All right, so he's cool. I like the design. I like his emo nature. Emo crow. That is just hilarious. Yeah. Next is Tui, which I think is the funniest nightmare critter, and the fact that he collects garbage and he puts sort of as like items of his own is kind of funny. Well, I mean, it's not really shown, but I think he would do it. Like it literally says in his bio that he likes garbage for some reason. I don't. Next is Maggie Moo, which her design is a little unexpected. I like the little claw thing she has. If sharks did have hands, they would have claws, I'm pretty sure, because they're predators. And their fins are sharp, so this would make sense to give her claws on her hands. And something else about her is that it's funny that she just eats garbage. She just will eat anything except for vegetables. So it says anything. Like, does she eat garbage or something? Like, is it like a real life shark? If they want to go full on real life shark there, then that's funny. That's great. So, and her pendant's an actual shark tooth. It would make a lot of sense to be there. Alright, so that's them, and what do I think? And yeah, the whole Nightmare Critters, I think they are really good. Not as cool as the Smiling Critters, but they definitely look like great antagonists, even though all of them are based off animals that are considered dangerous or not well liked by people, like rats, black sheep, poison dart frogs, dragons, gators, bats, and ravens, and even shark, and even a shark. So yeah, they're cool. They're a great set of characters. I would like to see them, and I would definitely get merch of them if they were available. And they're really fun to draw. I just drew Poe, Baba Chops, and I drew Tui. So I drew three. So, and I think that's it. Yeah, alright guys. So I will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.